Vincent, good morning.
Oh, hi, Michael. How are you?
Yes, I'm well. Actually, I'm just I'm feeling full of beans and exuberant, and but yes, but that's not the point. How are you?
Oh, you're good. I'm sort of I've changed the whole tact to being with the how I was sort of took on the humanistic approach and went very much self-indulgent. I've gone the other extreme now, and I've gone austere. So very much, really sort of living with as little as possible, and just sort of really trying to make less of an impact on my surroundings.
But you're still looking after yourself. I know razors are expensive, but are you shaving? For example.
Oh yeah. No, I'm still doing all that. I still have my routines,
Good.
But
that's
everything else just very austere. And I've managed to sort of, it's that sort of less is more ethos, and I've sort of applied that to all my all the things I do. So at work it's good, but still striking. So the less is more is working. It's working in my working life. In personal life, less is more is problematic, but we're getting through it. And in my social life, I'm sort of going to functions and not talking to people.
So less of that, but let's come back to it's an interesting transition that you've made. But with your personal life, can you tell me more about how less is more is difficult in that particular context?
Well, I haven't got to that point. Like our people from King Island they're coming in a couple of weeks, so I'll be doing the lasagna experiment then. But that whole, with portion sizes at dinner, I've been doing less is more. It's kind of the same ethos as standing where you sit. Mm-hmm. So I'll serve up something and I'll look at it and say less, but really it's more. Less is more.
So is it fair to say in kind of sort of rounding up because we do have to be mindful of the time but is it fair to say that you're now less anxious about having the smaller portion?
Yes, because it's more.
Good, because less is more, and look, the health benefits can't be overestimated. No. Because. Look. When I think when we first met, and look, you haven't sent me any recent photos because we're not doing that. But you're quite a big fella, and you actually mentioned there was a thing that you were trying to do, and I think it was after you fell down the stairs and you realised just how much, how well, I mean, obviously the lighter you are, the less damage you cause when you hit the bottom landing as you're falling down the stairs.
Yes. All that stuff. All that stuff is sort of coming together. But it's just more. It's more that whole. It's a bit. It's a bit. It's that Mother Teresa kind of approach to life, where you sort of. It is. You sort of.
It is.
It's meager.
Meager. It is. And I'm glad you mentioned. Mothers.
Yeah. Yes, well, yeah, I guess I have to sort of, down the track, deal with my mother. that's just something that I'll have to work out.
It is.
But that's what therapy's about, isn't it? Really.
Well, it's about delving into those things. Sometimes they're a little bit painful. You approach them and you go, "What am I?" And in the past you said we can't talk about it, and I thought, well, that's look. But I'm glad we are again talking about it. And also there was I was going through my notes as I always do in preparation for these sessions, because I do expend an awful lot of time in preparing and making sure that we start and we finish properly. And there was something there was in one of the earlier sessions there was this whole thing of the brodo. The is that the Italian?
Yes, the Italian penicillin. Yes, and that was yes. Well, that I still see my auntie and I see her Jewish neighbour.
Well, that's it.
They've reconciled, which is good.
That's it.
They've reconciled because it's sort of. They sort of do things come to a head at winter, and they sort of like peter out as we move into spring. The Jewish-Italian connection there is
fantastic.
Is back on track.
That's great. And I can imagine over winter they're fighting over the pickles. Who's got the better pickles? That's what.
Well, yeah, it's all the condiments and the things that they've stored for a hard winter.
You've got it. Well, of course. I mean, obviously we've got fridges now, and lots of things that you just buy on the shelf if you're so inclined.
But that mentality still stays there.
I know, but what I wanted to mention is that I've been in contact with Michael. He has been very hard to reach because he's scouting. He said he's revisited your charts, and there's an event, and it's a new event, because how in the Olympics they have these things where they have the normal events, or the normal what's normal, but they have these events, and it's always the 100-meter sprint,
traditional
events. That's exactly the word I was looking for. Thank you. So they have these, and then sometimes they bring in these sort of, and so for this one, because this Mental Olympics has been running for a little while, they've decided to introduce a new event, and Michael just briefly mentioned, he was very busy, briefly mentioned to me that there's a mothering. A mothering event, and it's not. And I sort of said, are we talking Jewish mother? Because I don't think that Vincent is Jewish. Well, in fact, I know he's not. He said, no, actually, the whole thing is, all that stuff about Jewish mothers. It's only because the Jews got there first and they're funny.
Yes,
but actually, it applies.
Well, Italian mothers are very funny too.
Well.
Well, they're kind of funny, but more dangerous,
Yes, because they've got the stiletto.
Exactly.
Anyway. So. And,
we've got access to machine guns, I'm telling you.
Well, if you're from down south, obviously you would.
Yes.
So there's this kind of this mothering event, and it ties in nicely to your special wants and things like that. And so he sort of floated the idea by me, and I just wanted to kind of throw it out there before we start the session proper. And actually our time is almost up, so we won't have long, he saw that event and your profile and your he was really optimistic really, but he was really busy as well. He had to go. I think there was social event after social event, because it's all meet and greet for all that stuff. Because you know what these,
a lot of networking.
What all these sports things are. I mean, Michael, I'm sure, is straight up and down, but I mean they're full of corruption, and they're just people.
Yes.
People just do it for the influence and the power and the free meals and drinks, really, don't they?
Yes. Oh, yeah, absolutely. Yeah, I could totally relate to that. I'm really happy to be part of that kind of environment.
Well. Well, but maybe not right now as you're going through your austere period, but once you come out of it,
No,
which
yes,
you inevitably
yes,
will,
exactly.
and that's what I'm building towards. That's exactly right. So this mothering event, he just gave me sort of it's got a lot. Look, it's I can't. We might have to get him. He said he would love to join, and again, and sort of give. So maybe in a session or two, maybe Michael can come and join us again. But it's just this thing that sort of mothering and or smothering. I mean, like it's a fine line,
Yes.
really, isn't it? Between the two.
Okay. Well, send me notes about it. I'm interested. I have been concentrating on the whole fly shooting, changing someone's sort of neural passages with a fly gun.
Yeah.
And I have sort of gone ahead and sort of enlisted the help of an old friend of mine who's sort of high up in the police force.
A marksman. You've been coached by a marksman.
Yes, and they've given me lots of great hits because they actually say that you get better if you actually have an action before you shoot. So it's that idea of rolling on the ground and then shooting, or turning around suddenly and shooting. So I've been doing a lot of that, which has really made my marksmanship sort of come up. So I'll be. It's going to be an interesting dinner party. I can say that much.
I can't wait. I bet she can't wait. Well. But Vincent, notwithstanding all that marksmanship and the obvious practice that goes with it, I trust there's been no harm or self-harm. Well, I did. No. All good. All right. Good. Well, listen. As always, look. I'm sorry. I'd like to start the session, but unfortunately, we're just out of time right now. But look, all this is, and I've taken. So we'll obviously come back to all these things. Look, I trust keeping well, and I do look forward. You did mention that you might be coming to Sydney, and so I do look forward to actually having a face-to-face session for a change.
Yes. Well, you won't recognise me. I'll be in my. I'm wearing sort of like a Tibetan sort of monk outfit, very austere, very.
I've always just looked beyond that superficial stuff. For me, it's all about the mind and the soul. Like what you're wearing.
Yes. Okay. Well, just to warn you. All right. Well. Okay.
All right. We'll take care and please do.
Thank you, Michael.
All right. Bye.